vanhu vatema and ndichaedza kubetsera vashoma vanoda kubetsereka kuti tingoona kuti chii chinoitika. Pane zvinhu zvakawanda zvatinogona kudzidza pamusoro peganda redu. There is a growing trend yekuti vanhu vatema kana kuda viga something from vanhu vatema kazhinji kacho chiise mubhuku. Even those vatema vanofarira kuverenga wangoisa chimwe chinhu mubhuku kana remets. So when we were at school waitokaona bhuku raunoda kana kuti ukatengerwa bhuku nemubereki vamwe vasina. This is what we used to do. Ukaona watengerwa bhuku riri on demand nadhedhi wako uchitya kuti richabiwa, even riri redivinity, we used to just write on that book maths or something, or just write the Bible or what or cover pamusoro esaba. It used to work. Pane zvinhu zvinoitwa navanhu vatema zvavasingadi kuona. So to avoid people kuti vabe bhuku rako waigona ngorecover necover wonyora kuti mathematics kana something. Zvimwe zvavanoziva kuti majority haimbozvifariri. At times waitora bhuku iroro wonoriisa kana kusection mulibrary ukaona kuti unoda kuzoribhorowa neMonday. Ukaritora bhuku iroro kanoriisa kusection yemabhuku emets, waitoziva section kuti apa vanhu havambodi kana kuhistory. Waisa bhuku iroro uchangoriwana ririmo mulibrary. Right? That's not my point. Nyaya iri pano ndeyekuti pane vanga vachitaura kuva black and slavery and whatever. Today I'm just going to focus, I won't be long, I just want to focus on part of the history that many people don't know, or history that many people don't want to talk about. When you talk about black people, all think about black slaves, there is another hidden history about black people that many people don't understand, don't even know. There are some black people there is a history to us, which has been kept secret, right? I don't know the term that they use, but let me try to think. Right. Most of the history, when you read, yeah, I'll say fugitives. There were some black people who actually went and said, we don't want slavery. But they are not written about. There are so many slaves, that rebelled against their masters. They don't get mentioned. When people mention slavery, one don't mention my blacks, I think my victims, they will listen. I'll start with the dates, right? Pakatanga would say in, I think it was in the 17th century. Let me see. No, in 1619, right? That's when the slaves came from. Yeah, it was August 1619, right? There were just 20 or 30, no, less than 50 Angolans who were kidnapped by the Portuguese, who arrived in the black colony of Virginia. I don't know American map that well, but they arrived. There were about 30 or so blacks kidnapped from Angola, and they arrived there. To cut the story short, if you want to Google that, these slaves, right? That was the beginning. I would say it was 1619. I'm not good in history, so you guys will need to help me. 1619. My slaves achanga kusvika apa nekuAngola kumaPortuguese. This will just be a little bit of but that's not very important. There are certain things, there are certain trends that you promote without knowing. We're still promoting racism and first of all, to begin with, yes, there are black people out there. There are black people. But most of you are not black, to start with. Most of us are not. We are brown. If you look at me right now, I'm brown. This is black. My hair is black, right? I'm brown. I'm not black. There are black people. There are some guys who are black. If you go to places like Ghana, places like Gambia, you can see a black person, like black. I'm talking about the skin, black, not brown. Okay. Anyone on a dark skin black, right? What history does is someone goes there and writes what they want. Maringene motive yabo, right? They want to make black people feel sorry for themselves or still feel inferior. But let me tell you, there are other slaves that were rebellious and they don't get written. No one writes about them. No one wants to write about them. There's some black guy, I'll find the name. A black guy who actually killed his masters by himself. He went and boom. Pagada eclipse. There was an eclipse, sun eclipse. So he had read the Bible. He took that sun eclipse as a sign from God to go and attack. He actually, representing black people, he went and wiped all the masters. Boom, killed. He killed them. No one writes about that. No one writes about that guy. That guy killed his masters and went towards Jerusalem with some other people as well. Caused a big problem. Killed, a lot of people were killed. A lot of slave masters were killed, but no one wants to mention about that. No one wants to read up. No one wants us black people. The history, Yema blacks should be, when you do the syllabus, those who do the syllabus, curriculum, the Zimbabwe and whatever, but black, we need such history. We get history, the Russian Revolution, blacks, what. Why not give us some of the history? History of Shambura masters. The Zongo massacre, people are kind of in Liverpool. People talk about that. They only want to talk about black people as victims. There were a lot of inventions were done by black people. No one wants to mention that. Black people were black people black people were eating us 5 pounds. Yes, we know that. But there is also some black people said no in Haiti. That's why Haiti people rebelled. Oh, fuck this. We're not doing this. Sorry, so mind my language. There's some black people who went, no. But no one really talks about those black people who were rebellious. It's only those who believed in God and they were hallelujah, and they were following all the rebellious. We need someone to come up with a curriculum. Those that rebelled. Write books about those that rebelled. Teach the kids in school. Teach them. Because Zimbabwe right now, it's still promoting racism because Murungu ndokudi. Murungu futi kurumbidza varungu ka. Do you know where Murungu is coming from? Do you know what are you actually saying? Ndiri Murungu. Uri kudzokera futi kuti iva munhu mutema boss. Unonzwa? Vakazoti vashanda vachishanda muminda yefodya fodya haichatengwi, minda yacho haichaproduce cotton kunyanyanya. Kusvika vatozoinventa futi zvimwe zvinhu zvakainventwa nevaru. Unoona vanhu vatema ka, they have invented a lot of things, but murungu anongowana credit. Boza vanhu vatema ndovaitiwa basa ka. Munhu afunga kuti mamopo zvinhu zvakaita sana mopo zvezvo vatema vaikorobha vari pasi, rimwe nobva rafunga kuti apa ndikasungirira uyu ndikadai ndikashandisa ndikakorobha ndimire. Zvinhu zvacho zvinoinventwa navanhu vatema. No one mentions them. My inventions mamwe aibiwa. First operation chaiyo pamwe yehati yakaitwa kuSouth Africa. Handisi kuti yakaitwa nemutema, but yaitirwa kuAfrica. But nokuda kuti yakaitwa kuAfrica hazvimentionewi. Zvingoda kunzi zvinhu zvezvo zvingoiswa. Zvakafanana nemaScottish. Scottish akarwa hondo akawina British tiso ebritain vamwana vanoba glory yevamwe. Right, I don't want to go far. So there are some of the things that we promote right now. We don't know what we're doing, but we actually promoting racism without knowing. For example, when you call, hello my nigga, hello my nigga, hello my nigga. Do you know where that word nigga came from? You make it cool singing hip-hop songs and all that. Oh, my nigga, where my niggas? What? You are saying that, but do you really know that some of our black ancestors died for that word to be abolished? And you're now promoting songs, making money, making... Do you know that actually most of these people, to make money, when they want to make money, they go and build in poor areas, poor black people areas. You're running businesses in black people areas. Rombo. And they want to maintain. So afana muna anoshanda kuma coffin. Muna anoshanda kunogadzirwa ma coffin. Akawana mota yaita accident. Trust me. Kana basi na hama yake. I'm not saying. Listen, I don't want to comment. Tell me this. Pakawaya muna akati akucha fiwi ku Zimbabwe, right? Muna akati akuchina death. No more death. Do you think people who make coffins and people who do funeral services will be happy about it? If someone comes and says, oh, sorry, no more death, no more dying, no more burying, no, close all those businesses, or no more coffins needed in the world. Do you actually, yeah, right. I'll tell you this. I'm just giving it as an example. I don't say hate people. What people do, can I feel? Unoshika so. And what? Oh, when they're talking to you, you think, today I'm going to get a free coffin. These people are feeling sorry for me, isn't it? When a funeral happens, you go to those people there, you tell them, oh, you've lost your relatives, you're crying, when you hear them talk to you, you think, today I'm going to get a free coffin. If they are really feeling sorry for you, why are they not giving you a free coffin then? It's when they start charging you, my coffin, mom should have married, tine 100,000, tine 10,000, tine 15,000, and a 40. Why are you selling them to me if you're feeling sorry for the loss of? Give me. Oh, sometimes the whole family gets wiped out. Kufacha with a whole family. Enough. When I'm taking some coffin, and I say, oh, I'm so sorry. Sorry to hear this. Sorry to hear that. And you're thinking, oh, what a nice man. I don't feel so. But before you go, my coffin for. Oh, we make 5 coffins for 200 pounds. Or we make 5 coffins. They feel sorry for you. Oh, you've lost your relative. But why are they charging you then? It's a business. Yes, Chris, my guy. It's a business, right? This applies to some of the stuff that I'm not never about. These people, they're running it as a business, right? What I'm just saying to you guys is that sometimes we celebrate, right? Ladies celebrate having big bums and you're making your bums big, but you actually don't know that there's a woman who had a big bum, who white people took and put in a museum. She had a big bum, big, and people they put her in a museum. Touching whatever white person wanted to touch and feel a woman. They were doing it, abusing this lady. They lied to her. And her name is Sarah Batman. They lied to this woman in South Africa there. They took her from South Africa. And they were touching this lady, even when she died. Museum. She didn't get buried in a museum. This story is real. This lady was real. Right? And what are we doing now? To celebrate Magaro. She did exactly what this lady died for. This lady was abused because of a big bum. And now we're celebrating big bums. We're like, oh, yeah, doing hip-hop videos. Shaking, twerking. You actually, There's someone who died trying to fight that. And you're celebrating. We're celebrating Magaro in the name of hip hop and all that. There are some people who died to get that name nigger removed, but you are singing, you're celebrating in the name of hip hop. Oh, nigger, my nigger, my nigger, my this. This is not on. Right, listen. I'm not saying I can change this, but I'm just wanting people to know that some of these things that we do. Makara, the chairs, I was saying it earlier. Makara in Zimbabwe, they were acting more. We grew up in Zimbabwe, people who were Makara were acting a bit more better. They thought they were better than blacks. They thought they were actually more white. But white people didn't accept them. Actually, if Chairs was right, she was saying those Makara vanhu vaiti kana varungu vakanhumburisa munhu mutema kuti siyai marara vorasa vovaisa kokuti kasvigare ikoko hatidi kuzvichengeta kutopedzisira kwatova necommunity yemakaradi antoona nokuti mhino dzavo dzakadidididi vamwe vacho vanga vakanakawo zveshuwa vaita handsome vamwe vacho vaibva fanana namadzisekuru avo but vari ganda voita tan nice skin. Listen, vanhu vese no matter what they were considered black. So akati vazvona kuti okay varungu vanoti consider black, but no, but we don't want to be black, we are lighter, so we'll call ourselves Makarat or colored. They will call them colored or whatever, I don't know. And these guys varungu vaive vachidana sekuru vako vane 60 years, come here my boy, and your sekuru be like ooh zvese zvavanoti bastard izvezve vainzi bastard. There are so many words that we use. Put sake pamwenzi forsake zvakawanda ukada kutsvaka zvimavara zvakawanda zvaishandisirwa vana sekuru vedu zvine disrespect. We took those mavara. Mine yangu rupenya ndiziti nechi kind of. So what I'm trying to say is that there is more to us black people than what's written there. There is more to us black people. Many people think, oh, religion came to black people because of Varama black people. There are some black people who interpreted the Bible and said, okay, and there's also strong beliefs that even Jesus was probably black. And was what happened. But vanonyora history kana vadonyora history kana vatedzera history. Oh, let me tell you what I've not researched on this topic, so I'm just supporting Chairs and better topic. I've not researched, so a lot of stuff I might say there might be inaccurate. But I will tell you this, what I know about the Bible. There was an Ethiopian eunuch in the Bible. Mukadza in the Ethiopian eunuch. That lady from Ethiopia, very beautiful woman. I don't mention on Bible. I don't mention on Bijana. Jesu chacha achizvarwa akatomboenda kuAfrica. Achitiza mambo eRuda achiuraya pedzera vazhinji vacho even Egypt inoda kuramba kuti iri muAfrica. Egypt we know, but Jesu akacross akauya kuAfrica. Jesu akagara kuuya kweva vanhu vakavurawa zvana zvese zvikavurawa ndokubvazodzoka vana Moses. Zvinhu zvizhinji zvakaitika mubhaibheri momuyema Africa iri pamepu. Noah chai vakazvara mwana mutema. In fact pane mwana akaseka. You see, the Bible rakanyorwa handisi kuramba, but pane manyoro akaita pane vana vaNoah paitori nevamwe vema blacks, but this doesn't get mentioned that much because my blacks akadaita singopiwa glory. Vanyori vehistory vanongodistort a little bit. Zvikanzi mwana akaseka Noah akabvanzi uchazvara vana vatema, just like that. When you look at the Bible, right, there is certain things in the Bible that says, okay, Noah akazvara mwana na Eva nditi. Sorry. Adam akazvara mwana na Eva nditi. Azvara mwana na Eva. Tinongozonzwa kunzi umwe mwana wacho akazoenda akanoroora somewhere. Vana vacho vakairoora somewhere vari vana vane. Ndikona. Vavazvarwa nani? Zvakunozonzi uyu akauraya Abhero, Kaini akauraya Abhero, adini auraya Abhero nobva atiza, Kaini nobva anoroora. Akuroora ani? Isi chingozati kwakangwaita Adam na Eva kwaita munhu. Ndikona. Hatizvibvunze zvese izvozvo. Tinongoendwa nezvatiri kuverenga ipapo. What I'm trying to say ndezvokuti sometimes kuhistory hapana munhu anombotaurawo zvana Malcolm X vamwe vanhu. There is a lady who was on the bus, who said, I'm not giving up my seat for a white person. But then, if you were on the bus is empty, you could sit. As soon as white people come, you were not supposed to sit. You were supposed to stand up and give a seat to a white person. And there was a lady, I can't remember which year. I can find it out, but I don't have time. That lady, while I was saying the American Revolution, that lady actually was on the bus and the white people came walking, trying to get a seat. No, she went, no, I'm not giving a seat to a white person. F this, F that, F that. And she rebelled. First lady kusungirwa kuramba kupa murungu seat. There's so many stories, but we only hear of the negative ones. Oh, black people were so submissive. Black people were so this. And some people even use the Bible to say, oh, this, to support them. But we need history about those successful, say Rosa Parks was her name, Rosa Parks. So we need also to know that, when we talk about slavery, it was not only the negative. Yes, most of it was negative, but there are some blacks who actually went and challenged that. No, we're not going. And some of them ran away and lived in mountains. And by 1860, the enslaved population had risen. It was almost 4 million. It started in around 30, but by 1860, there were almost 4 million. Cotton industry. Penga 1793. But it wasn't just smooth like slaves do this, jump away. No, some slaves were like, no. The Revolutionary War happened. North America. And there's a lot that happened. You guys need to go and read about. Yes, there's sometimes newspapers that you can see where a black person will be standing here. I can advertise for 5 shillings for this boy. He can bath himself. He can brush he can dress himself. I've seen those. If you go on the black history, some of this stuff you make you cry. But without overlooking that, we need to know that there were some black people who there's some black people who went and challenged that. And in 1793, Kune Yankee school teacher Early Whitney, who came up with a solution to the problem. I think cotton, yanga singachanya nyutengeseka zvakanyanya. Saka une vanhu vokushanda but cotton aichabhadhari. So Hands akaita sei, akadesigner kuda machine. Probably that machine was designed by a black person. This is the problem, because unongozopiwa zita ronzi murungu ndiye akadesign. Zvimwe zvacho zvinenge zvakatodesignwa nemunhu mutema. Glory yobiwa because vakazongosungwa akavurawa. Kuma 1791, 1793, pakatozopesa pane imwe Fugitive Slave Act yokuti munhu akabetsera slave kutiza, kana slave ikatiza ikabatwa yaifangwa kudi kuhengewa here kana kuti yaitori crime. It didn't work because America is too big, but it was passed in 1793. Dzimwe dzainzi Nat Turner, 1831, Nat Turner. Remember, this guy anonzi Nat Turner, this is the guy I was talking about. The guy who went and rebelled against he went a small plantation kwanzi Southampton County Virginia. Angoita passion because mai vake vangu vari stubborn, vabva kuAfrica mai vake, ende mai vake vagara chiverenga Bible vachinamata vachiti kuchauya munhu achadzikinura vanhu vatema nditi. And that guy just not tena akangobelieve mai vake ndopatotanga kubelieve he's the one that's gonna turn everything. He's been sent by God to rebel. So in 1831, Tena akangoona zuva richiti richipenya, so Tena akati vanhu vakajaidziwa ndo sign Mwari vandipa mvumo yekuti ndinorebella. So what he did, akatsvaka band vanhu just a few huri usiku musi 21 August. So that date is very important. On the night of 21 August. Date orandaka divorce Rose. Date orandaka siyana nomkazi wangu. I mean, coincident. So he planned to capture him futhi. No, but my recruits akati. So there were about 75 black people. They killed 60 slave owners in 2 days. This guy went and killed and caused vanhu vakapanika. Even my bystanders died in this struggle. Tena escaped, no, but Tizakainda for 6 weeks on the run. But they eventually captured him and hanged him. But we don't hear much. Hapana kana statue ya Tena. But kunana Edinburgh, you find statue ya Henry Danda. Monaka extended slave trade by another 25 years, 75 years, and that's the country. He extended slave trade. Kwanza ngaichipira and Henry Danda. Unodonema street nonzi Danda Street mu Edinburgh. A statue iri padhuze neHarvey Nichols. Statue ndakatombonyora wotsamba ngati aiwa ngaibviswe. Zvakafanira kuisa statue Hitler and the leader weScotland akaramba akaignore tsamba yangu. Ndikanyora ngati why musingabvise statue yakaisirwe iya ari munhu akatoita mablacks aurawe more blacks vaurawe vaextend home UK. Zongo massacre yakaitika ukagoogla. You can google Zongo massacre. It's a sad story yekuti mablacks akanga azara muchikepe, slave trade yapera. Pakuchina achada kutenga maslaves kuti achipiwa insurance kanzi aiwa tinongoishuwa vanhu vanenge vafa chete. So the owner akabva vanhu 150 black people just decided to kill them so that they could get insurance. So they were tying them like this nezidombo vachinyura, tying them kuti vasaswe. Deakangova ke mvura kuti vaswime vega. So he was killing them so that he could get insurance for boat yake in Liverpool. Zongo massacre. 150 black people died. We blame who? Danda, who extended the slave trade. Danda extended the slave trade. Another 25 years. Is it 750 years or 25 years? Oh, no. I'm going to go stop slave trade. It's taka loader. So the name slaves hope. Gatim boy extend Haiti, Ambage continent, Tumira Jamaica, and that actually caused the Zongo massacre. The guy got his insurance because they could only insure you if your slaves died. If your slaves were alive, you were not getting insurance. So he had to throw a lot of slaves into the sea, cold water, near Liverpool there. They were dying of the cold and dying of not swimming because they were tied like this. They were thrown tied like this. Can you imagine? So some of this history is not highlighted. Even our kids don't get told such history. People just want to talk about slaves. We're like, oh, hello, master. Yes, slaves. They were these slaves that rebelled are called barbarians. They were not barbarians. Do you remember that even Nelson Mandela, when he was rebelling, they were calling him a terrorist? The term terrorist depends on who and which side you are. Because sometimes people like Nelson Mandela can be called terrorists, but someone would come and say, oh, he was a terrorist because he was rebelling against the government or the white rule at the time. So some of the stuff that you read, it depends on who wrote it and why. Black people, let's learn to read. Let's learn to read, not only read, but analyze. Who is talking? If someone comes and said water is good for a body, find out if the guy owns a water company, or find out if the guy is just trying to promote his own company, or maybe he has an uncle, or he has an uncle. Or if someone said, oh, obedience is better than sacrifice, check who should we obey? Why does he not benefit from us being obedient to that person? You know what I mean? So problem is we need also to have that history. Yakavarwe, the hidden history. We need to know also what went on, because there were some really, really good slaves here. A lot of inventions. Black people invented a lot of things. Good stuff, like big stuff. But they don't get mentioned here. They don't get mentioned. So, 1831, maybe slave trade bans. let's abolish this, but it didn't work like that. 1780, 1793, continue. Harriet Tubman, Dred Scott, 1857, a guy called Dred Scott. Google these names. I can't read them for you. Find out what happened with them. Frederick Douglass. Google that name as well. Go read about them. Go and read about the John Brown raid, October 16, 1859. Read about it as well. Before we even go there, ngatimbocheka even yekuZimbabwe chacha. Kune vanhu vamwe vanonzi vakarwa hondo vakauyisa ndege, vanenge vasina kungoisa ndege, glory ringopa vamwe. Kuna vamwe vanhu vasina kutomboenda kuhondo vakabetsera kuuraya masoja, vakabetsera kugwa hondo yechimuranga. Havasi kupiwa zvavo mari ka, but ndo vakasupply huku, vana baba venyu vachisupply huku vachienda kunodi vachinoimba kumabhawa to keep the morale. Dzimwe nguva kwange kwafa magandanga 5, but stress. Those people who were singing Mohondo Chichichi, they are overlooked. But do you know what happens? Why when she's offering Nana UK, when one of an stress? Do you know why people die of stress? People die of stress because Havana Pasha Komna, we are motivated morally. But this is what our parents were doing. They didn't go to the war, Havana in the Kondo, but parents, Vachiroa, Vachimba, Siku Wese, Pamberine Hondo, yeah, Pamberine Hondo. They were actually fighting the war. Havana zvavo vari kupiwa havasikuenda sakuheroes eka. Vamwe vanhu vari kuiswa heroes eka vaitiza vachishuta vakafuratira vachitiza. Vangova mahero vakawisa ndege, vamwe kanzi vakawisa ndege vasina. History yakucreatiwa. But bvunzai vana mbuya venyu kana vachiri vapenyu. Just sit down, go there and mbuya imbondiudzai zvaitika vasati vafa. Get that history before your grandparents die. Let them explain. Kohondo chichaitika. Omuzukuru. Varungu vakambouya panapa. Tikavaisira poison vakafa. Ihondo vakatorwa hondo. Kana mbuya vako vakashandisa zvimushonga vakauraya varungu before 1980. Ivo varungu 2 vakafa ivo vakatotapudza vaigona kunge vakatonoshuta umwe munhu ka. Vaigona kunge vakatonoshuta umwe munhu kuuyu. Saka hondo yakarwiwa nevanhu vakawanda wanda. Izvo zvekuzoti aiswa kuheroes eka izvo ndezvongoti zvamfanira kuti muno muna naUK kana kuti kuEurope. Unonzi Miss Zimbabwe UK. Miss Zimbabwe UK ndiye vanhu vangosarukana kuti the best comedian in the UK or the best Zimbabwean comedian. Kurungoitwa competition kune vaparticipate. Hakusi kuti ndiye yese kaenda kuUK unodosvika chimudzura ndiye. Kune vamwe vanenge vasina kutombodamwa ikoko. Kune mamwe musicians asingambotodamwa ikoko. Vantori better. Vantori ne better crowd. Vanenge vasina kudamwa ikoko. Saka ndo zvangoitwa nezvekuti munhu aenda kuheroes eka. Vamwe vanoenda kuheroes eka zveshona kuti hondo yakairwa. But kune vamwe vanhu vasina kutomboenda kuheroes eka vakatorwa hondo more than vanhu vakaradzikwa kuheroes eka. Supplying just that information with nhasi manheru mauya atari kuuya masoja vaya vosanoisa chimbambaira kuisa chimbambaira rori yobuya boom yiputika varungu varimo vechifa maenemies achifa. But havamensheniwi gogonhingi vakafamba usiku vakanotipa masoja kuti imi ndava kuzokuudzai kuti kune magandanga atotanga masoja atotanga kuuya uko imi fana. Most of the time magandanga aitiza ainovanda masoja aizosara usvika magandanga atova kune rimwe region achitiza. But those people who were telling magandanga, they're not there kunana heroes eka. So history is biased. Each and every article or live yandinoita inenge story biased. Depending on kuti ndo supportani. Depending on ndo ndakaverenga chi. Depending on ndo chi. Even what I'm saying right now is also biased. There's certain things that I'm overlooking. So just know any time on the story. Even in makuwa chaiwo just know that has 100% correct. Then maZimbabwe says yes. Any article ndinenge akauraya ningi yes tazviwa kuti ninge akauraya ningi but pando nika element of nika element okenhema tikangozviziva zvoti there is a possibility kuti pane zvinhu zvisiri accurate ipapo. That's what I'm just trying to say. So kune mamwe maslaves akarwisa akaramba slavery tona iko zvino kuno kuti kuramba chipromota slavery ndambotaura ndikati yes tichiita zvezvi tichifamba takashama tichiti onai tichipoza tichitweka tichitweka vanhukadzi tichitweka. But we actually don't know when this started pane mukadzi akado mutema akaabusiwa nenyaya yemagaro ake aakasikwa naMwari akaiswa mumuseum kuti vanhu vamutarisa savakamudesa this uye muone vasingazivi munhu mutema vemuone munhu mutema mazama asina bra exposing that poor woman in a museum stand kumira kudai so ari alive and people could feel vachibata vachiita zvavada naye. No one mentions, and we are promoting now. Hey, let's do this, let's do. Oh, to that one hip hop, oh, modeling. There's a lot. So to celebrate this, guys, let's just know what we read about sometimes is not everything. Even in the Bible, trust me, I want to believe that the Bible doesn't contain everything that happened during that time. Otherwise, it would be this big. Someone just chose some stories, some certain stories, This is why I'm telling you. When Adam na Eve vakazvara vana chopazvaro kedinapavra Abel achifa nobva tonorora kuradza kuti kwainorora kwakatova nevamwe vanhu, but the Bible wrote kwakutanga nyika ina Adam na Eve, saka ainorora nesister yake ainorora. So those things that tikazviisa muBhayibheri, Bible ropesera this size. Saka kune zvakaitika zvisina kunyorwa, zvakaitika kumikaini pamwe vazodini kana kuti pamwe Mwari vakasika vamwe vanhu futi, we don't know. Tungoverenga zvatakapiwa. Munza zvandotaura. So ndinozama kuti don't rely on piece of history yanyorwa, because even right now if something happens in your house, okay, can you write what happened? You'll omit certain things. You'll actually remember parapambomudira bhutsu muhuro dandatokangana. So or 5 people can say let's write about one dog yauraya tsuro, one dog yauraya tsuro. Right now tikanga takavukara tikaona video yembwa ichiuraya tsuro tikati okay guys chimbotinyorerai story yamavona pauyu. Story 1 inobuda nemaversion akasiyana-siyana. Tsuro yazotiputsake nobhaimba ikati tsuro ikatiputsake ikati nobhaimba yazoruma, tsuro ikati unopenga iwe nobhaipinda nomateka pinda pamuti, patsuro yazobondera pamuti imbwa yaro. Umwe anobva tsuro yakarohwa negumbo rembwa ichibva nobondera pamuti nobhairo. But chokwadi ndechekuti tsuro yakapedzisira yabatwa chete, ndona. But zvimwe zvacho zviri pakati apa tisingazivi. So that same applies nehistory. We need to know that these black people, yes, they were slaves, but there were some who were very, very intelligent. Some were in a class navarungu. So vachizvambura chikoro vari kukona akagarawo kuvarungu vachinzi white people here, black people, and they would ask kuti timbobvunzaiwo black people kuti answer chi, or answer the 56, and this is how it happened. Akagara mukona so varungu vari kuti okay, vamwe vacho vaitonozevezerwa naye wouya kuno woita senge answer ndeyavo to make the teachers happy. Kutotsvaka tip. There were some very, very, but many people, some of these newspapers, when they write, oh, black Americans, or they're not very intelligent. No, you can actually make people less intelligent. A lot of people are in Africa, they are not, it's not like they're daft. When you say, oh, go, it's not like Gokwe people are stupid. They're not stupid. But sometimes if a place is remote, like when I'm in the UK here, most of the time I just hear people say, oh, I grew up in Borodale. I'm the only one who says, oh, no, I actually lived in rural areas. Kuanarum UK. You know, UK, they say, I'm town. Oh, Borodale. But one is Zilanga Panapa Gumba. I got Bondero, Nengo, Ragarovera Pachire, Umachaka, Akawam Tohe, Mamavangavana, Pamakumba, Akadona, Chechete. Chaka Chechete. But no, I grew up in Borodale. I grew up in Borodale. Really? So I'm the only one right now. Okay, guys, tell us. Oh, I live in Bulawayo. But you don't want to mention you lived in Gokwe. You don't want to mention, oh, Borumani Mago, Uchida Chaka Magogo Nanzi, I would have a Gavaka, Uchida Kumaj, test them to Unwe Magogo Nanzi. What I'm trying to say is, don't rely so much on what people tell you. Because each and every story has got bias, good or bad. Don't rely so much on one source of information. That's the beginning of being intelligent. If you want to be intelligent, research the other side. Munhu akati ndakaramba nomukadzi wangu ndakadii nomukadzi wangu aindirova. Research also the other side. Try to leave a gap for what happened on Saturday. Wairohwa waita sei pamwe munhu aidhotera mukapu odhotera muteapot ozorohwa mbama. What abuse? Yes, abuse iriko. We don't deny that. Bvumaiwo kuti dzimwe nguva pane zvimwe zviri kuserwa zvatisingaudzwe zviri kuvanzwa nevanhu vachiacta victim. So a lot of these black people, this black person murdered this and he got killed. No, we want to know why he did it. Some of them were acting, trying to defend their fellow black people. Some of the black people were just hanged in front. When we actually go hanging all like this, you're coughed, during this, they get hanged. Other brothers are seeing that. Jesus. It's like what we do, kumaruzeva. Tinotora mombe tinodzirimisa. Dzimwe mombe dzeshona, but vanhu vatorwa ava vangotorwa vasungwa usiku 4 a.m. Do you know dai mombe dzainyora mabooks? Dzaitonyorawo mabooks kuti taibatirwa. Tongochuza paChristmas nhasi tikuuraya huku yokuti. I'm just giving an example. This is exactly what black people's life were like. Vaitwa senge huku zvavo ngoti munhu vanongokuona makaungana so what? This guy is big, he's very tall. This lady is tall. Ndi mama vake. Koronzi, let's breed them. Iwe kwira apa votoita nhombo kuti vazvare maslave akasimba. They were actually breeding people. Semombe. Sisi vako iwe ngonzi tinotora sisi wavo because vane mamaso. Tikasanganisa ichi nechichi. Zvipfupi zvitogubwa pamwe zvipfupi zvaitokandiwa mumwe zvinobva nashoti zvaitokandiwa mugumbo chanyaita chipfupi sezvatinongoita mengo dzedza kuti ichi chiruka mina chitorai mango imbasera iyi. Vanhu vachitengesewa kuchitopiwa vamwe as mbasera. Masi giant achitogwa chinoitwa maslaves nokuti aigona kutakura dombo hombe. Iro zigiant ungonzi rara nouyu pamwe ndicousin sister wacho vachitobridha kuita kuitwa bhuru. Chitotorwa usiku hwega hwega chinzi ndanokuti kwirirawo mukadzi wenu we mukadzi wetu kwirana nemangwana ndokwira nowe vachitochekwa kuti maperiods avo ndearini kutoita mabiologist anenge achidesign kuti okay ovulation yavo iri pekuti like yes, that's what happened in the slave trade. Things like that were happening. So when we want to celebrate this, many people now are coloring your faces. You want to be yellow bone. What yellow bone? This is slave mentality. Your beautifulness, dark as you are beautiful. Wakanaka ne punk yako Miss World right now and a punk pakangoro wachi hairstyle. This is what we should all do. It's quite unnecessary, you know. Mazama ako saiza kwa right akadero zvokuda unomawedzeresa kana adona yes mari gadone tsvaka zvimwe zvokuti nawo magaro adi kunowedzerwa mainjection kuda kufadzana kuda kufadza vanonyora. So a lot happened. There is a lot of history blacks. It is very positive. People who fought the masters, we don't hear. They are there, but no one talks about them mostly. They won't talk about blacks as victims of blacks akazo ikisiwa di Antoine. This civil rights akatoenda ovakadzi 1927 akatozotanga kuvota in 1952 54 ma civil rights. Right now there's some countries where black people are not supposed to mingle. They're still there. No one talks about them. We're talking as if slave trade ended ages ago. And when you go to places like Tanzania with a white friend, I went there with a white friend. Tanzanian girls were like, please, I just want to have a baby. Just want to have a baby with a white person. What's so special? They just want to have a mixed race baby. They're busy painting. Those girls, I'm like, what? What on earth? This is still existing. And I'm going to be proud. They are busy trying to be like us. We are busy trying to be like them. They're like, oh, we want to get tanned. They go on holiday and they go in, they try to make themselves brown. And what are we doing as black people? We're trying to be white. What the hell is that? No? So let's celebrate our black history and just be proud to be black. I mean, and we are not black. I'm brown. Well, brownish. Yeah, brown. But there are black people. I've seen a black person, red charcoal black. Like, oh, otherwise, setara. There are people who are like this, dark, black, like, and very handsome as well. Very beautiful girls, dark like this. Some of the models are black, And you are makarati, please. Like they said, yes, makatsukirira mune mhino dzakanaka, but don't act special. There is actually statistics short. Vana vemakarati ndo vanofesa so much racism. They face more racism than any other person, mixed race people. If you're mixed race, Cheta said mixed race is not allowed to say mixed race. If you're half black, half white, and I don't know which half is white, but when you go to the white people, they can't really accept you. When you go black people, they can't really accept you. So you suffer racism on both sides, both ends. But trust me, you are just black. If you have any little black person, there was a girl, I remember one girl in 1996, beautiful mixed race girl. She was in Leicester. What did she say? She said, she actually said she hated their mom for dating a black person. Because that made a brown. She was oh my God. Her name was Tinika or something, Leicester. Was it Tinika or something? I can't remember. She was the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. She was mixed race. She had a brown skin, which is whitish, nice nose, which is in between black and white. It was a nose and normal. She had nice cheeks. She had a nice body. She wasn't big. She wasn't slim. She had a nice belly. Everything was perfect. I was like, oh my God, this is a beautiful girl. And she was like, oh, no. I hate myself. Why? I hate my hair. The hair was so nice. There are so many people who were mixed race. They consider themselves black. Bob Marley is one of them. They are not stupid. They were not dumb. They know exactly where they belong. Be proud. Remember, some people think, oh, just because they're lighter skinned, they are more special. No. Guys, let's be real here. So, we had very educated people. In 1905, there was a guy called Du Bois, and W.E.B. Du Bois. I think he went to Niagara Falls in Canada. Akastanga a new political protest demanding civil rights for black people in the old spirit of abolitionism. That's how I'm reading it here. So America's exploding urban population faced shortages of employment and housing. And akatenga wave of riots, writing books. Some of the books written by black people were thrown away. They were hidden because they had the facts. Syllabus. Ainyora yake achipa vanhu leaflets, and there was a lot of even 1908 Illinois, and they even called it the Niagara movement. 1909. We don't really get this type of information. It's hidden. They want to write, oh, the slaves were masters. Some of these churches also come with that mentality. Now, from the slave trade, we're enslaving ourselves through religion. God is there. Trust me, God is there. But some of the stuff that we see here are not godly. And we are falling into those traps, whereby some people will get money from black people. And what do they do next? Instead of building within the black communities, they buy new houses in white areas, leaving black people in poverty. Vana asha vanenge vane bhutsi yakacheyama kudai so, iwo achipfeka bhutsi ye24,000. Vachiti pfekai mabhanduru mabhengu aya muchengetedzewe, iwo achitsvaka mabodyguards. Pastor anokuti bhengu rinokusevha ukapfeka bhengu hauiti accident. Asi achitsvaka madriver nemabodyguards kuti asaburawa. Yoti famba murima musatya zvidhoma. Asi dzifamba dzine mabodyguards dzichitya kufa. And we buy those bangles, £2. Vamwe vacho vanotenga farm. What we have muzorima kumba kwa pastor sowing a seed. Morima kumba kwa pastor mosakura chibage chakuru. Oh yeah, chibage photo. If you buy one maize cob from my farm, you get blessed. Who is black people are enslaving other black people now, using the same theories that were used by those slave masters. Instead of to celebrate it, oh no. Religion, God is there, but let's preach God the way God is. Who is God? God helps the poor. God likes fairness. God comes and finds Zacchaeus, who is very rich. He goes to Zacchaeus' house, drinks, eat with Zacchaeus, but tells Zacchaeus, go and give everybody. Give them back. Double. In interest, because wakabira 2005. Samaration from an interest by now. That's how God operates. This God waiko zvino ndokuti anoona chembere ine 1p. Yone itorera chembere iyoyo, oitorera futi uraya vanatora vana vachona vari kuichengera kuti handei munoita pastor, munoita mabodyguards apastor. Fambai achivashandisa. Mai vaivo sara vasina vana anovachengeta kana anovatsvakira huni. Mwana akaendepo, mwana akaenda napapa, mwana anofamba napapa. So slave. So many people don't know what after all this, Pandonima slaves are got to choose how to get Ethiopia from Jamaica. No, that's Ethiopia. Ethiopia, okay. So we need to know that this is a list of things that I want you to go and research. Go and research the Harlem Renaissance, 1920. Even read about Google African Americans in the World War II. My blacks idea kana nyika dzopandukirano. My blacks ones vyaimurwe. Vana Mike Tyson nana Muhammad Ali. No, vana Muhammad Ali vakazoramba kuenda Olympics. No, murubatira vana tema. Not. We don't hear all that. All we hear is negative. Oh yeah. There's some people who rebelled against who. Kuramba ita Olympics. No. Varungu. Murubatira vana tema. I can't represent America. So go and Google African Americans in the World War II, 1941. See, many African Americans were ready to fight for President Ainzi Franklin D. So 4 freedoms. Either 4 freedom: freedom of speech, freedom of worship, freedom of want, and freedom from fear. So freedom from want and freedom from fear. They were fighting for that, but in their homes, so they were actually fighting, helping president for that freedom. So black people were actually used to that. They did not fight for the rights, human rights. Fight human rights. Kuinda kutoitomira human rights muchisa maplankets free kumba kwenyu musina human rights acho. Kumba kwenyu kwamunogara murume wenyu chacha asingakubvumidzika kana kuenda kunoweta. Muda kufightira Zimbabwe say toda human rights. Hurumende yeZimbabwe iri kubatira makaroorwa nemunhu murungu kana kuti mutema anokuisa mujere. Oh, violence, stop violence against women. Muchigara makarohwa daily. Vamwe vacho makaisa mapost pamawebsite pamawipenyu, let's stop violence against women. And yet you, every night, you're abused. This is what black people are good at. You're good at doing that. You put all this, we're fighting against it. You fight for freedom, not yours. Why? Fight for your own as well in the process. So go and Google that. The war's first African-American hero who emerged from the attack in Pearl Harbor, a young Navy steward from USA West Virginia, who carried wounded crew members to safety and manned a machine gun post, shooting down several Japanese planes. He's a black person. That was in 1943. He shot a lot of Japanese planes. He was a black guy. No one talks about him, you know, in the World War. So we've got Jack Robinson, 1947. All these guys. He is the first guy akatamba baseball 1945. Atanga akari army, akapedzera kuita sports, boxing. A lot of black talented people we don't hear. When we celebrate Black history, let's talk about these heroes. Brown board, May 17, 1954. Picture when he get it. Google that. And some people fought for, it was declaring that separate education facilities are inherently unequal. Right now, the syllabus that people learn from the poor areas, right now, even in the UK, it's not the same syllabus that rich people get taught. Don't let people lie to you. The rich kids, right now, my kids go to school, it's not a private school. That's not the same thing. When they go to private school, they get taught how to run businesses. They practice it. They get given checks. Run a company, run this, vachitamba monopoly. Shanda McDonald's, we want you to do, the apprentice. Go in there, shop, is experience, work experience. But it is a work experience. Right now in the UK. McDonald's for work experience. McDonald's, they're being taught to be obedient to masters. Some of these are being taught to be masters. My private schools. Exactly what I'm telling you here. You can Google Emmett Till, August 1955. Google that. Rosa Parks Yangashita December 1955. Montgomery bus boycott 1955. She said, I'm not getting all this. So you can Google the Central High School integrated year 1957 and go and read about the sit-in movement 1960. Some of them are very, very close to when you were born. Core and Freedom Rides, May 1961. Google that. Integration of Ole Miss, September 1962. Birmingham Church bombed in 1963. Then I Have a Dream. Everyone knows that. I Have a Dream, 1963. Unaiziayo. Martin Luther King Jr. Then Civil Rights Act, 1964. You Google that. Freedom Summer in the Mississippi burning, murders, June 1964. Selma to Montgomery March, 1965. So Google all these. Then when Malcolm X was shot to death, February 1965. You can read. Get yourself reading. Read some of this. Get to know the Voting Rights Act in 1965. Voting Rights Act. Voting Rights Act, 1965. Many people don't know. Recently is 1965. So go and Google the Black Panther part. Fair Housing Act in 1968. Even now, Bana fairness. These are some of the, MLK assassinated, 1968. Shirley Chisholm runs for president in 1972. A black person, runs for president, 1972. Zvamuriwana Obama achizoita izvi. Unemwe mukadzi ainzi Shirley Chisholm akanaka zvekuti Google here you find. So so kusvika tasvika pa1978 here in affirmative action, the Bucky decision. Read about that as well. Jesse Jackson galvanizes black voters in 1984. Oprah Winfrey launches syndicated talk show in 1986. Talk show yakanetsa. Los Angeles riots 1992, Million Man March 1995. Colin Powell becomes Secretary of State in 2001. Barack Obama becomes 44th US President in 2008. Read that and follow the sequence. Read. It's good to know that. Teach your children. Tell them. It's a very long journey. So go and Google it. So what you can write, what you can do, if you want to get this information, you can just type. You can just type. You just type Black history, facts, and people. Just type Black history, facts, and people. So thank you so much, guys. There are so many things. Tirege zvokuti tichingoramba chingopa varungu kuti mambo wangu murungu wangu di totori varungu vakadai shishanga nechirungu. Munhu akaita mistake yechirungu tisaseka, because tine system yekuseka munhu akaita kazhinji vanhu vachicorrectiwa ipapapo. Someone writes wrong word the English ipapapo, people, but murungu akanyora Shona iri wrong, vanhu voti ndazama atraya. It's just a language, guys. It's just a language. Nothing special. Let's celebrate our own. Vamwe vairapiwa siki nemidzi ichipora, asi ikangochekwa ikakwa mapirisi ikabuya via chemist, munhu wese anodundira. Nganga dzikauya dzikada kudidididi. I'm not for nganga, but why criticize nganga? Nganga dziri kuita the same thing. Nganga ikauya ikarapa munhu panonzi which. But if a white person comes, the doctor. Even in nganga chai Africa, tikaipfekedza white gown inongoramba chinzi nganga ndezvimwe yetsvina, but murungu akauya angopfeka white gown akatanga kutora midziyo achikacha nokuti imentality iyoyo. Kanga nichiona vanhu vatema inasanambodana nemurungu, asanamborara nemurungu, not because handidei kana because ndo. It's just me. But vamwe vanhu vanenge vachitofunga kuti vakadai nemurungu vachiva special, akaenda kumusha kuya achidzika paairport akabata murungu maoko. Uri special kuvanhu vari ikoko, but I didn't know kuti kuno varungu vanotoitawo poverty. When I grew up ndaingofanira murungu munhu akafuma, because akakura chidzidziswa zvona nasekuru vedu, murungu mwanangu murungu. Zvoti vanhu vazhinji mishayo iri kuuya ichiputsika kuna naEurope because murungu ati ndokuda opportunity yekurara nemurungu. Munhu akati maybe ndigofere ndisamborara nemurungu. Naivedu vamwe kutopiwa zvirwere nokuda ungoda ngoti mentality yatakakura nayo. Regai kuti munhu ndiri murungu wako, murungu weiko, murungu wei iko kuti murungu iko ukandoreka mentality kasiri right ka inferiority weiko kufunga kuti ganda rinoita kuti uve more. Ndaiva kunda chirungu inini, ndakaita chirungu ndakuno. Ma exam ako wakaita Zimbabwe wagarisa sinoenda chikoro, tanga chikoro, ndikanochitanga chikoro kuno kuti tanga ita senge munhu ari kutanga primary chako uchidzidziswa zvinhu zvandakadzidza kudhara ndine ma ingowakunda chirungu. Varungu vachoti vamwe vacho vatombogona kuverenga. Maclients edu they can't read, they cannot even read. Paisi yangofunga kuti murungu munhu anoziva zvese. That mentality has to stop. Let's celebrate Black history and know that there's some Black people who invented a lot of things, a lot of stuff were invented by Blacks. There are a lot of important Black people who are not written here. If you are not great Zimbabwe, vanenge kuda kudobiwa kuti kunzi yakavakwa nomwe munhu asiri mutema. Vanototsvaka way kuti kwakune ma slave masters aicheka mapwe achizodidi. Yeah.